What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So, Gervanta Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia. We got the fight last night. I was going to do one last video. I was even asked was I going to do it, and I started to. Then I thought about it. It was like, nah, because basically all the time for talk was done, and this was like Thursday. So it was like, it's not really much to say. All the talking doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what Bernard Hopkins say, what De La Hoya says, what Gervanta Tank Davis says, what Ryan says, what his corner says. It doesn't make a difference. What whoever says, the dad's talking, this happens if you do this, this is going to happen. And all this build up to the fight, that's pretty much all it is. You know, watching the tactics of Bernard Hopkins, when he touched Tank Davis and Tank told him don't touch me, and he said Bernard responded to him with, I'm about that life and all that. Like, man, Bernard, like you said, he told him, he said, maybe to sit his old ass down. Nobody worried about Bernard. But I'm saying, see all of those tactics? This is the kind of shit that people do to try to help get in the fighter's head. They feel they need that advantage. That's clearly why they do it. Now, what I was going to say was basically just brief. I don't think that Tank should let himself get behind to where he needs a knockout to win and don't keep the fight close. Because even though Tank Davis has a lot of, fans out here in the US and people are saying like is he the face of boxing? They would love to be able to say that to whoever the more popular fighter is. And Tank has popularity. But at the same time, when you are a guy who, even though you have fans, there's more people wanting to see you lose. I don't believe in leaving it to the judges. And if you do, you have to be so dominant to where, and it's easier said than done if your opponent is ready, just like you're ready. But you have to be so dominant to where, come on, man. Like, how many decisions do you see get overturned in boxing, right? So, just saying, if they do try to rob you. Now, my thing was, I think Tank just needs to be Tank, but start faster, as he did. Don't let Ryan, build up a lead and basically just go after him, break him down, and get him out of there. I really didn't see a reason for this fight to go the distance. I truly felt like Tank should get him out of there. You guys know how I felt about the fight. And basically, for Ryan needed to stay behind that stick and basically don't try to fight for the fans, which is exactly what he claimed he did. When you look at consistency, you have to look at who did what. Don't get caught up, and this is the problem with these casuals, because, see, they hear people, I don't care if it's Roy Jones, I don't care if it's Mike Tyson, I don't care if it's Teddy Atlas, if it's Max Kellerman, I don't care who's saying it. People are speaking out of fanboyism. A lot of times they're biased, and a lot of times they try to play neutral. My whole thing with this fight was this. I even heard Eddie Hearn say Tank hasn't really fought anybody, neither has Ryan. Okay, you can't say that for Tank. Tank is a five-time 3-weight division champion. How in the fuck you gonna put him in the same category as Ryan Garcia? That's ridiculous, man. And even for you to say that the only two people on Ryan's resume is Fortuna and Luke Campbell, who was at the end of his career, and so is Fortuna. Yeah. What does that have to do with Tank? And I notice people try to throw shade at certain fighters, whereas even like with Barrios, it's like Tank fights him. Oh, man. Oh, he's overrated. This guy ain't that good. Then after Tank beats him, Thurman fights him, and all of a sudden now Barrios gets all his credit. He's a real true warrior. The same way they did Pitbull when he beat Pitbull Cruz. Oh, this little motherfucker. So what? He's way bigger than Pitbull. What? But then his very next fight, Pitbull is the man. He's a monster. He's a beast. No. Yet it's funny because Ryan is way bigger to Tank than Tank is to Pitbull. Now, let me say this. Before I even get into it, people no need to cry and whine. We wanted the fight, we got the fight, and it is what it is. Okay? You cannot accept a clause and then bitch about it afterwards. I told you guys, and he can't use this weight drain shit as no excuse. They were already setting up an excuse by, why'd you try to weight drain me? No, he's not weight draining you. The fucking weight limit to you guys' weight class is 135. You, okay, not Tank Davis, not his team, Team Ryan said, we want a catch weight. How about that? There's no title on the line. Look at what the catch weight was. 1 pound over the weight limit, right? What people are trying to overlook, and I'm going to say it again. Ryan Garcia walks around 175, 180. He's fighting at 135. He's never been called a weight bully. Tank Davis is like that tall to Ryan, okay? Much smaller guy physically and in height. So pretty much, why is Tank walks around heavier than 135, but why is Tank not worried about a rehydration, him going way up? Why? Simple. Because he's going to be disciplined and cut the weight. Ryan cut the weight. But what Ryan clearly wanted to do was he was going to come in without the rehydration clause where he would be maybe 20, 25 pounds heavier than Tank Davis come fight night. How many times have we seen that and you hear the commentators go, such and such is huge. Oh my God, look at the size of this guy. Yeah, because they rehydrate and they're much bigger. So at the end of the day, oh, but how come Tank went to 140? Because he went up to accomplish winning a title in another division. He didn't stay there. If there was no title on the line, he wouldn't have had a reason to go up to 140. Okay? Now, if he was testing the waters to see what it's like to go at 140, that would still be one thing and still his choice. But at the same time, Ryan Garcia, why is it he can fight everybody else at 135, but with Tank all of a sudden 140? He clearly wanted the size advantage. And that's what people depend on to beat Tank, is their size and power. That's all they depend on, not the skill level. Now, he accepted the terms, so there was no need to hear anything about why you try to weight drain me. Nobody tried to weight drain you. And basically, Ryan Garcia is going to stay at 135. So what's all the catch weight nonsense? Now, how smart are you? How smart do you have to be to understand, yeah, the guy said Tank was trying to weight drain him, but now all of a sudden he's staying at 135. If you're disciplined enough to cut the weight and the weight's not bothering you, what's the purpose of a catch weight? Or trying to go up to another weight class to make this fight happen? This is the same dumb nonsense we talked about with the so-called Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence fight. Why is it at 154? Well, that's a situation where, in all honesty, if that was to happen, Spence is not coming back down to 147. And if so, what's the purpose of going to 150? It makes no sense whatsoever. Well, I can fight more at my natural weight and I don't have to cut. What's the purpose behind that? You guys are campaigning at 147, so what the fuck are you fighting at 154? You know, what's the reason? Now, same thing applies, with the exception of, even though Ryan claimed he was going to 140, no. And if he had won the fight, does he really want to fight Devin Haney? Because if so, Devin Haney's not going to fight at no catch weight for undisputed, right? Guys, think, okay? Wake up. It's not hard. It's not hard. Now, the fight itself. This was what I seen. I saw Tank Davis is all around a more disciplined and better skilled fighter than Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a basic boxer with speed, power, and he has that flash and flare factor, okay? But he doesn't do anything special. I remember when he fought against Fortuna and he was throwing a left hook to the body, and I remember people, yo, that left hook is special. And I remember saying the reason he's able to land that body shot on a much shorter guy is because Fortuna has no footwork, no foot speed, and he basically doesn't have a smart ring IQ to understand. That's where he needs to strike. Timing, people. If a longer guy is landing body shots on a much shorter guy, he's getting in range to where that shorter guy has the perfect chance to counter. And a tall guy throwing a body shot is the best time to counter. Okay? The best time to counter. Well, Fortuna wasn't that guy. And I also said, you guys remember, even at his best, I don't think Fortuna beats Ryan Garcia. He's not as good as people said he was. Fortuna was good enough to do what he did. But even in his small size, he didn't know how to, tactically get in and break Ryan down. And basically, nobody complained about how big that Ryan was to Fortuna. Right? Again, and this is not against Ryan as far as like a dislike. This is about the bullshit that was being spewed out, whether it came from Ryan or his fan base. Here's the reality. Him being a flashy flare guy with hand speed and power, Ryan doesn't show me a high ring IQ. He basically throws punches in bunches where it's just let your hands go, you'll hit something. Old school mentality. That's what the trainers just hit. You'll hit something. No real rhyme or reason. Tank Davis is tactical. He doesn't throw a whole lot of punches per round. He lands. Okay? He throws precise shots. He lands his power shots. He shouldn't out-jab Ryan Garcia. And basically, the way I saw it was, if he comes out there and start fast like he should, not just lay back, and he needs to take it to Ryan, move, do what he normally does. See, when Tank is moving, okay, for all of the people that don't know, oh, he's running. Same shit Rolly Romero's coach was screaming, he's scared. Yeah, he's scared. Remember, talking about, oh, yeah, see how he move? Yeah, he don't like that. Yeah, he run. No, he's not running. What he's doing, he's baiting you in. Because now what you think is, yeah, he felt my power. He respect me. He's scared. Okay, yeah. You go from respect to saying he's scared. And you start coming in, and you keep thinking, I'm right there. I'm about to catch him. Tank Davis style. You know what Tank Davis style is like? You know when you go to the arcades on the boardwalks, they have that big machine with the coins, and the little arm comes and push them. You put your coin in, it push, and it keeps seeming like, I'm right there. All I got to do, okay. And you keep dropping quarters in, and the quarters you're looking at just don't fall. It winds up doing something completely different from what it looked like it's about to happen. So even when you find success and catch with Davis with a good shot, he can take a punch. He shows he has a sturdy beard. But what happens? You think, I'm right there. And you know what you do? You start to overcommit. And Tank is like, checkmate. And that's just the way it goes. Now, Ryan Garcia basically said at the end of the fight that it was his inexperience, where he just should have stayed behind the jab and made it boring. No, see, that's also pity, a way of trying to get pity. You're trying to fight for the fans. You overcommit. You ran your mouth and did all that talk about what you're going to do and how he's going to be so shocked. It's all the whole ball of wax, the discipline, the timing, the understanding, the patience, all that has to be there. So for you to try and so-called please the fans by trying to make it a brawl, didn't you learn from your buddy Rolly Romero? And you're not that type of fighter like Rolly is. You are a boxer. Your strong suit is not to come after guys and try to jump on them unless they're just lower tier fighters. But when it comes to the elite, listen, Floyd Mayweather is a firm believer, and so am I, of take away what your opponent does good. You should know. You don't overcommit and lean and reach like that. So when your ego is getting the best of you, making you think I got him, he's scared, or I'm gonna try to wow the fans. Yeah, you wowed him because you got dropped in the second round and you got stopped with a body shot. So yeah, they were wowed, all right, just not about what you did, but what happened to you. Listen, this fight, to me, I didn't see it like the Super Bowl of the division. You got to beat Devin Haney. I don't care who you are. You know what's so funny right now? Go look in comment sections and see what's being said. Yo, the real fight is going to be Tank and Devin. So the reality is, when you watch this fight, this wasn't even one of Tank's hardest fights. And I think for the sake that Tank know that this is a legacy fight, why, it's so funny, and off namesake, he's had tougher fights than he's had with Ryan. But it's like, okay, I'm going to give him his props. There's no need for fighters to shit on each other. Like I always say, if I think you a shit fighter, I can't see myself bigging you up to act like you something special. No, but I'm going to prepare for you like you are. Simple. So now you look at this, and why are people already saying the real fight is going to be Haney versus Tank? Right? Why? Because they already know deep down inside, Haney's going to beat Loma. They won't say it. They don't want to say it, but they know deep down inside he's going to beat Loma. If Shakur Stevenson ends up fighting Tank, or however it goes, fighting Haney, whatever, now that he's beaten Ryan, and I told you guys, man, like, people thought that this fight was going to be like some war. So even in my community section, I don't even have to look at it. I posted, looking at the two talent that these fighters have, which fight does this fight have the potential to resemble? And I put one like Marvin Hagler versus Thomas Hearns, height and stylistically. Ray Leonard versus Wilfredo Benitez. It's not a height difference with these two, really, but just strategically. Michael Nunn versus James Toney, stylistically, taller, shorter, one more of a chop come forward, and the other guy rangy, tall, long. The other fight was Jose Luis Castillo versus Diego Corrales. Taller guy, shorter guy. Would the taller guy be able to stay on the outside, or was he going to stand there and fight a close fight at close quarters like he's not supposed to with the shorter guy? So I had a reason for posting that. It wasn't just about finding fights that's considered legendary. No, it was reasons. Everything I do is for a reason, man. Even if it's just for fun, it's still a reason behind it. And so basically, I think the highest percentage, the comparison was, also Aaron Pryor versus Alexis Arguello. And that's the fight that people saw this fight being more like. Now, let me just say, the difference in Alexis Arguello and Ryan. Alexis Arguello did have a high ring IQ, boxing IQ. Ryan doesn't have a high ring boxing ring IQ. He fights off instinct, and he's listening to what his corner's telling him. But he, like I said, he throws fast punches and loads up and feel like with that hand speed, I'm going to catch you. Tank took that shit away from him. He was making him miss that fucking left. He was catching Tank with the right, not the left. You understand what I'm saying? And Tank was making him miss that shit all night. Now, here's the crazy part. People were saying he was going to beat Tank with a body shot. And I said, yeah, you guys don't know shit about boxing, man. You guys are looking at Javier Fortuna and you still don't get it. Tank is not Javier Fortuna. You still are underestimating Tank and his ability. My thing is, I've seen Tank face adversity. You see that punch they keep showing now? They slow it down when he throw that fucking left hook at is it left hook or his uppercut? He threw at Pitbull Cruz, and you see him clearly bend his arm, bend back, and you see him drop his arm, and he slip a punch, comes in like, yeah. And his hand from that, he like he hyperextended and he hurt his knuckles as well in that fight. Okay. He still won through adversity. When you hear Floyd Mayweather say, Tank got his fan base off boxing, Ryan got his fan base off of YouTube. So are you a YouTuber or are you a boxer? And people was, Floyd, you're such a hater. Floyd, let me tell you what Floyd is fucking saying. See, and this is, sometimes it takes you to see the result for people to understand. A dummy's going to be a dummy, all right? So if you're a dummy, don't even worry about what I'm saying, because I probably sound like Charlie Brown's teacher to you right now. It'll come to you if you didn't get that either. But everything that you like or don't like about Tank came from what you see him do in the ring. Popularity, okay, is what fuels Ryan Garcia's career. So in terms of popularity, you think that this is a 50-50 fight, or Ryan might have the edge in the crowd, fans, because Ryan. So it's like you think that what he's doing in the ring is what they respect him for, more so than no, it's what he's doing outside of the ring. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, this fight is not what y'all think it's going to be. You understand what I'm saying? It's like Jake Paul. You got people thinking Jake Paul could beat Canelo or Anthony Joshua. I've heard these comments. I've seen and read these comments. They don't understand the difference. Ryan Garcia is a good fighter, but people clearly underestimated Tank. But they look at Ryan and they overestimate him. You've never seen him in a war. You've seen him get dropped by Luke Campbell, who's not a big puncher, got back up, and he won the fight. And Luke Campbell was at the end of his career on top of that. And he always fell short regardless, his whole career. He's never been world champion. But at the end of the day, this is what Floyd is telling you. You're overhyping the fight itself because you think Ryan is better than what he really is. This is a bunch of casuals watching Ryan, along with whatever his real fan. Boxing, listen, understand. Boxing fans are more knowledgeable than boxer fans. All right? If you don't understand what you saw last night, you saw a guy who knew what he was doing versus a guy that thought he knew what he was doing. And that's why at the end of the fight, my inexperience, or I was trying to make the fight exciting, I should have did this. Then he said he showed Tank too much respect. He should have been more aggressive. No, see, you still don't get it. Being more aggressive is what got your ass knocked down in the second round. Being more aggressive is what got you dropped to the body. That's what happened. And I was just waiting for him to just say, "It was my lever." You know, remember when Hopkins dropped De La Hoya with that body shot? It was my lever. That's what I was waiting for him to say. Yeah, it was the lever. The lever. Yeah. But listen, at the end of the day, I salute both of them for coming in there doing what they had to do. If anything, Ryan should be humble and learn from this. And understand it's not about shit talking. See, because you was trying to impress these YouTubers too. Your fan base from social media with all the promises and I'm gonna do this and that. I tell people this all the time, man. You don't see Aries sitting there waving a flag around and spewing out my country and all. No, it's all about the two fighters. I'm not making any. Well, I made my money betting on Tank, but understand Tank ain't coming to me cutting the check. Yo, Aries, yo, good looking for the support. Ryan's not going in none of you guys because you Mexican or you're his YouTube fan giving you guys money for no. I just call it the way I see it. So when I'm calling a fight, I'm not going by who I want to win. I'll say who I want to win. You understand what I mean? If necessary, but that doesn't mean just because you want someone to win it, they're going to win. But breaking down this fight, Ryan, and my thing was this. For Ryan to beat Tank, the Ryan that I've already saw, I don't see him doing it. He's going to have to be a different Ryan. Did you see a different Ryan? No. You saw what you thought was good enough to beat Tank, and you realize now, no, it wasn't. It's a great thing that Tank stopped him, and this is what I was concerned about in terms of fairness, that they would try to rob Tank. Did you see those scorecards? Check this out. Now, personally, me, I scored 1 round for Ryan, the first one. That's it. That's it. I don't know what everybody else is doing. But when I was looking at the scorecards, and I'm like, nah, this fight is not as close as they're trying to make it seem. But check this out. The second round was when Ryan got dropped. The scorecard says they had it a 10-10 round. Right? A 10-10. Punch stat says Ryan landed 7 punches and that Tank landed 3. So out of 3 punches, right? Out of 3 punches, your boy went down. And you telling me that was a 10-10 round? Nah. You scored a knockdown And it wasn't a 10-8. Not even a 10-9. Okay, 10-9 is without a knockdown and you win the round. That means they're saying Ryan was so dominant in that second round that Tank just basically won the round or tied the round up with the knockdown. And then the other two judges had it 10-9 round. And they wasn't trying to rob Tank Davis. Oh, you better believe they was trying to rob Tank Davis. And that's the type of BS that boxing, they need to get rid of all that. And they need to do a better job in security as well. Because there was a fight breaking out, man. There's 3 guys beating up on this one guy. The guy's on the ground. He's surrendering. He's all dazed up. They just keep beating on him, hitting on him. They went in his pockets and robbed him. Now, I don't know if he made a bet and didn't want to pay up or what. I don't know what happened. But you have an event and you're coming out to support the fight itself, the event, and want to see the fighters going in and witness a great fight. But then you got this nonsense going on. It's just too much of this nonsense happening, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. And everybody's standing around recording, watching. And these guys pretty much, unless this guy's, well, I'm not a snitch, whatever, that's on him. But what I'm saying is that kind of stuff is going to continue to happen, man. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they're so stupid that they're sitting in front of the cameras like they're beating on the guy and taking their time like it's just okay. Like, we're good. Yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff just taints events, man. But anyway, look, Tank and Ryan did what they had to do. And like I said, man, Ryan and Rolly are 2 different type of fighters. Rolly is the pressure guy that likes to come forward. Ryan only does that when he knows he has a weaker opponent. It's simple. When Ryan comes in and starts loading up on those shots, he squares up and leaves himself wide open. Okay? You're a tall guy. Fight like a tall guy. And so when I watch him, these are things why I'm not impressed with a lot of fighters, because they don't fight the way they should. It's like you watch a center in basketball shooting 3-pointers, playing outside the paint. It's not your position, man. Play your position. Simple. And when Ryan is not doing that, and people are overlooking the fact that, you know what, the guy is fighting in ways that if he was fighting an elite fighter, they'd take advantage of what he's doing wrong. But see, that's the difference when you're not fighting tougher competition. You cannot compare Ryan's resume to Tank Davis's resume. It's as simple as that. And it's not because he lost the fight like, oh, he's not a good fighter. No. But there's things that I see in Ryan that other people act like they don't see. Then it's like maybe they don't see it because they're just not that sharp. When James Toney said, nah, Ryan is not that good of a boxer. Ryan is flashing. All James Toney's hating. And I applaud myself for even listening, because it was hard as hell. I had to listen to that video like 20 times. I did not know what in the hell James Toney was trying to say. And I'm not making fun of the dude. Just being real, man. God damn, I cannot understand what James be saying. It's like listening to James Brown. James Toney and James Brown is like, what in the hell is he saying? And I keep going. I'm trying to listen to the interviewer's response to then. Oh, okay. So I got what he was saying about Ryan Garcia. I don't know how the hell y'all. Yeah. Anyway, but at the end of the day, man, just saying. Yeah, this is not about hate on any fighter. This is just the reality. And y'all gotta understand something. You keep talking about, oh, Tank was running and he was holding. Listen, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. You're taught how to avoid being held. Okay? And no, he's not running. He's fighting his fight. If Ryan Garcia was as small as Tank, and if the roles was reversed, you guys would be giving him so much more praise than y'all even give him now. Tank is a tiny guy, man. It's going to be very hard for him to be taller than most of the people he's going to fight. You know what I mean? So Pitbull Cruz, yeah, he's shorter than him. But how many guys have you seen Tank fight that was actually shorter than him like that? I mean, but bottom line, he's never going to be as big to someone else as people are going to be to him. And to keep talking about how he's going to do this and that, even the tactics that you guys were saying that Ryan was going to win by and beating him with a body shot and all this. You know, as usual, all the people with the big mouths that's on Fight Hype, Seconds Out, all these other channels where they just talking all this shit. It's so funny when they see my logo up there. Yeah, I know. I know they want to hide. They don't have nothing to say now. And like I tell them, man, listen, you're entitled to your opinion. See, there's a difference. You're picking a winner based on your nationality. I'm picking a winner based on the skill level of two fighters and the consistency between the two. It's a big difference. And this is why I don't lose bets. See, you guys don't understand. I cannot tell you what a fighter's going to do when he show up. But I'm going with what I feel like is the more sure thing. You understand? If I thought Ryan was going to win, you think I'd have bet on Tank? And I said, it's possible if he catch Tank and can hurt him. But I think Tank is going to nullify that left hook. And I think that what's going to happen is Ryan, for the first time in his career, is going to get hit with shots that he just can't avoid. Because they're not coming in big flurries. But guess what? Out of nowhere, bam, one shot. And all it took was one to put him on the canvas. He says, his punch wasn't as hard as Luke Campbell's. It doesn't make a difference. You still went down from it. What about the body shot? Huh? It wasn't even the face shot that kept you down. It was the body shot. And for the people that's talking about, the ref should have. What you mean? He didn't get up for the 10 count. So guess what? If he could have got up, well, guess what? That means Tank scared him into not getting up. And Tank said, he was looking at him like, yo, get up, get up. And then you can see Ryan shake his head, no. Yeah, I posted that in the community section too. You can see him shake his head, no. He listen, y'all, it's not just breaking a man physically, but breaking their will. Okay? Breaking their will. So he felt power that he knew, damn, I can't beat this motherfucker. Damn, I can't get out of the way of these shots. Where they coming from? And mind you, the body shot, Ryan landed a right hand to Tank's head. And he landed the shot to the body. It was a delayed reaction. You see, if the referee, listen, first off, you watch the count. When he gets to 10, Ryan is not standing up. He's on the way up, but he doesn't beat the 10 count. So why would the referee stand back and, 11? Okay, you're up. What are you going to do? Keep counting? No. If that's the case, and let's say if he beat the 10 count, but he was in bad shape still, like he was, well, what's going to happen? He's going to get punished more, right? It's not like the fight was waved off while he was no, he didn't beat the 10 count. And, looking at them scorecards, man, this is the corrupt shit I mean about boxing. And we can talk about it all day, but it doesn't change what keeps happening in this sport that keeps tainting the sport. And it's ridiculous. It's terrible. It's an ugly thing, and I wish that it didn't exist, man. But there's no way. How do you knock a guy down? Look, let's look at Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, for example. That round in their first fight, when Deontay Wilder knocked him down, and was it 11th or the 12th round, whatever, of their fight? If you remember, Wilder wasn't winning that round. But because of the knockdown, right? It becomes 10-8. But then Fury got up and starts walking Wilder down, starts cracking Wilder, and pretty much won the rest of that round. I don't remember offhand if they scored that a 10-9 or a 10-8. I'd have to go back to the fight and watch it. But what I'm saying is something in that sense where you were already not winning a round yourself, but you scored a knockdown. It still becomes a 10-8. Did you see Ryan Garcia do anything so dominant that the round was scored a 10-10? Nah, man. These judges are corrupt. So Tank showed you, look, this is what you do. And this is like, you close the show, man. You leave it to the hands of the judges. If they want to rob you, they'll rob you. And both of them came out to do what they had to do, but there was a difference in skill levels. It takes two guys to get in the ring to fight for people to see who's the better fighter. And at the end of the day, I don't really like making predictions. I'm not afraid of being wrong. I just feel like, hey man, I just want to see the fight. But I had money on this fight and I won. My thing was I when and what did Tank tell you guys? 6, 7 rounds. I'm gonna break him down and get him out of it. And I'm like, that sounds about right. I don't see this fight going the distance. Now he said he was just saying it to get in his head and all or whatever, but at the end of the day, I didn't see a reason for this fight to go the distance. If both guys are going there to fight, yeah. And I don't see a reason for Tank to hold back or Ryan to hold back, which means there's gonna be punches thrown, and the sharper puncher, the guy with the better IQ, the guy that knows how to place his shots and use his power and fight the way he's supposed to is Tank. Ryan doesn't fight like a tall guy. Ryan likes to try to fight at close quarters. He thinks that his speed and his left hook he just thinks that that's always going to be the key. And you can see he kept resorting to that left hook the same way Wilder resorts to his right hand. So when Bernard was saying, oh, he has more than just the left hook. Yeah, well, what else he has isn't enough to beat Tank, including his left hook. Same way how Tank told Riley, all you talk about is power. That's all it is power, power. You gonna have to have more of that to beat me. Told Ryan the same thing. You're gonna need more than just a left hand. So at the end of the day, what's gonna have to happen after this is I think Ryan can study the fight, study all his fights, study what he's doing wrong. Okay? Study what he does wrong that works in other fights as well. Okay? Because you may get away with things with certain guys, but again, like I said, when you get in there with the elite guys, somebody is going to nullify those things that you're doing. And like I said, watch the Javier Fortuna fight. Watch all the fights of Ryan. You see what I mean? Like when he starts throwing flurries and he digs, he wings that left hook. He's wide open. He squares up. And those guys just haven't been able to make him pay. Luke Campbell just caught him sleeping, rocked him. At the end of the day, this is why you have the title elite. And even with elite fighters, it doesn't mean because you're two elite fighters that you're on the same level. There's levels in it. And so, no excuses. He wasn't weight trained. He just basically wasn't good enough to beat Tank. It's as simple as that. And you didn't see any ring rush, all this nonsense, no excuses. I've seen and heard a ton of excuses already. The better fighter won. If he'd try to be more aggressive, my estimation is he'd have got knocked out regardless. If he would have fought behind his stick, stayed like back how he was supposed to, try to make Tank get anxious and come in, I'm not even saying that wins the fight for him because Tank learns how to figure shit out. And that's an advantage of having Floyd in your corner because that's what Floyd was always plan A, B, C, D, E. Whole alphabet chart up there. Why? Because you might have to go back to something that you stopped doing. Stop doing something and resort to something different. Give it different looks. And him being in Tank's corner, I mean, hey, he listens, obviously. And he did what he had to do. So, no, we're not going to call Ryan no bum. We're not going to start, making excuses either. The better man just won. But hopefully not just Ryan, but the fans can see there's a difference in skill level. So when you compare people, waving your flag ain't going to save his ass in that ring. Playing your national anthems or whatever the hell and whatever it is. I don't care about none of that. Naming people, all type of warriors, Aztec warriors and all that don't make a difference. That can't save your ass in that ring. Waving the flag didn't get his ass up off his knees, did it? Waving his ass didn't stop him from getting his ass knocked down in the second round. So at the end of the day, that's what it's about. So as long as people keep trying to, oh, this is for our country, and please, man. If Tank won, he won. Aries didn't win because he won. Well, I won because I bet. But I'm saying this ain't no, he win and we all win. Man. There's one fighter, one fight. Life goes on. Maybe, since they both lost to him, Tank, right? Maybe Raleigh and Ryan will wind up fighting. They both got something to prove, right? It's redemption, right? But they both, well, Riley keeps claiming he's going to 140, but yet he keeps crying about how he wants the rematch with Tank. So, Riley definitely tries to keep his name in there, and he's the same way. Social media, his antics outside the ring. People, oh, he's so hilarious. He's so funny, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you're going to 140, start calling out Tiafimo, Regis Prograde, Josh Taylor. Start making noise. Go to 140 like you said. Stop claiming 140, but you keep calling out a guy that's not fighting at 140. That is incredibly stupid. It makes zero sense. So at the end of the day, that fight is done. What happened, happened. And the fight is there. So don't bitch about it. Just understand you got what you got. Simple. And if you didn't want Ryan to lose, well, he lost. If you wanted Tank to lose, well, he didn't. He won. So it is what it is. Now, next month, you got Haney and Loma. Don't go into the damn fight making excuses and lies up. Go into the damn fight looking at it for what it is. Now, me saying Haney's going to win. Do I want Haney to win? Yeah. But I'm saying he's going to win because I just see him having all around too much for Lomachenko. And he's smarter. He's going to show Ryan this is how long a guy fights. Not standing there putting yourself in harm's way. Loma's going to want to try to get in, get close. He's supposed to. He's a shorter fighter. But at the end of the day, we'll see how it goes. And I'm still saying Haney all day. All day. But all the people that was sitting up here making comments and putting their little Mexican flag next to their comment and talking all this Aztec shit and this is going to happen, he's going to do that. Tank can't do this, Tank can't do that. Y'all quiet as a mouse right now. And like I told you, nationality has nothing to do with it. I don't care about that. You saw me post a video about Zhilei Zhang versus Joe Joyce. Now, I like both of them as fighters. But I said, Joe Joyce, the juggernaut, ran into the Great Wall of China and couldn't run through it. I'm not British and I'm not Chinese. You understand what I mean? So it wasn't about China versus the UK. It was about a Chinese fighter versus a UK fighter. So don't ever see me put something in. Sometimes you got to explain because people take things and but you, yeah, I know what I did, but understand my reason for doing what I did. But it's not about the nationality. I don't care about that or your ethnicity, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. We saw what happened, and hey, man, I told you, when you keep winning, there's always somebody people just want to start to seeing you lose. If he crossed that bridge where he lose one day, well, hey, but until that happens, he's victorious last night, and that's what matters. Never fall in love with lies. Remember the truth brings hate out of people. I will catch y'all on the next video. Talk to me in the comment section. Tell me what y'all think of the fight. Out.